The desert sun of planet Zathor burned down mercilessly, casting long orange shadows across the rolling dunes. The air was dry and every step kicked up a swirl of fine sparkling sand. Captain Alex Ryder, a human xenobiologist, trudged through the sand in his protective suit, scanning the ground with a small handheld device. He had been studying the native fauna, mostly sand-dwelling creatures, for months now. It was a difficult, lonely job, but he loved it. "This area seems promising," Alex muttered to himself. The scanner beeped softly as he swept it over a patch of sand, revealing small signs of life below the surface. Tiny burrows, faint movements, and patterns that hinted at a complex ecosystem. Humans might have come to Zathor to expand knowledge, but Alex was driven by curiosity above all else. Suddenly, a shadow fell across the sand near him. Alex looked up and froze. Before him stood an alien figure, unlike anything he had ever seen. She was tall, barely human-shaped, with smooth, silvery skin that shimmered in the sunlight. Her eyes were large and bright violet, and her limbs were slender, almost delicate, yet she carried herself with incredible grace. A small crest of feathers ran along her shoulders, and her hands had 3 long fingers, tipped with soft pads instead of nails. Alex straightened and waved. "Hello, I come in peace," he said, hoping his gestures would communicate friendliness. The alien tilted her head and blinked rapidly. Her voice emerged as a sharp musical exclamation. "Human, why do you have a mini Shai-Hulud between your legs?" Alex's heart skipped a beat. He looked down, confused. His eyes fell on the small device strapped to his belt, a handheld sandworm scanner, shaped vaguely like a tiny cylindrical probe. Somehow she had mistaken it for something else. No. "That's not what you think," he stammered, fumbling to pull the device away. "It's a scientific instrument. I study the sandworms." The alien's violet eyes widened even further. She took a cautious step back, then another, circling him with curiosity. "It moves, like the young sand-shaped beasts," she said, pointing at the device. "But it is attached to you," Alex sighed. Communication was going to be harder than he thought. "It's not attached. It's just my tool. Humans use it to study your desert worms. Totally harmless, I promise." She blinked slowly, then tilted her head again. "Humans are strange." She whispered the last word, almost as if she were trying to figure out its meaning. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, she darted closer to inspect the scanner. Alex held it out cautiously. "See, it's just a scanner. Look, it beeps when it detects movement under the sand." The alien hesitated, then touched it carefully with her long fingers. A soft beep echoed. Her eyes widened, not in fear but in awe. "It talks to the sand creatures?" "Yes," Alex replied, relieved. "We can study them without hurting them." She stared at him for a long moment. Then she laughed, a sound like delicate wind chimes. Alex tilted his head. He had never heard an alien laugh like that before. "I will call you the human with the moving sand beast." She pointed at him and giggled again. Alex chuckled nervously. "You can just call me Alex." The alien stepped back, still circling him. "Alex, you're very strange. Your body, your habits, everything is odd." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Everything is odd?" "I think you're the odd one here." She froze and tilted her head. Then in a tone of mock outrage she exclaimed, "I am not odd.
I am perfect."
Humans are so funny," Alex laughed. This was going to be a very long day. For the next few hours, Alex tried to explain human technology, culture, and even simple biology to her. The alien, who introduced herself as Zilra, had an insatiable curiosity. Every explanation Alex gave seemed to spark 10 more questions. "Why do you wear clothes?" she asked at one point, pointing at his protective suit. "It protects me from heat, sun, and sandstorms," Alex said. "Why?" "My skin is fine in the desert," she said, flexing her shimmering limbs. "Yes, but humans are not built like you," he replied. "We need protection from extreme environments." Zilra's eyes widened. "So your bodies are weak?" Alex shrugged. "Not weak. We adapt differently. We use our minds and tools to survive." Zilra considered this. Then she nodded slowly. "Humans, clever. Strange, but clever." By late afternoon, the sun was low on the horizon, casting long shadows over the dunes. Alex decided it was time to show her something practical. He pulled out the small sandworm scanner again and demonstrated how it detected the tiny movements under the sand. Zilra gasped as the scanner beeped, indicating a hidden burrow. It finds creatures before they show themselves? Yes, Alex said proudly. We humans like to observe and learn first, then act. She clapped her hands together, making a sound like ringing crystal. Humans... impressive. She paused, then whispered to herself, even with the... Mini Shai-Hulud. She giggled, clearly amused by her own joke. The day ended with Alex and Zilra sitting on a dune, watching the twin suns set behind distant rock formations. Despite the misunderstanding, a bond had begun to form. Alex realized that Zilra's initial shock and her exclamation about his so-called mini Shai-Hulud was not mocking or hostile. It was curiosity, and curiosity, he knew, was the first step toward friendship. As the desert winds whispered across the dunes, Alex looked at Zilra and smiled. I think this is the beginning of something interesting. Zilra looked at him in return, her violet eyes shimmering with amusement and wonder. Humans are very strange, she said again, but this time there was warmth in her voice. And I think I like them. Little did they know, this encounter would mark the start of a series of events that would challenge both human ingenuity and alien perception, showing the galaxy just how remarkable humans could be. As night fell over Zathor, the stars twinkled brightly in the vast desert sky. Somewhere beneath the sand, tiny sandworms stirred. Somewhere above, curiosity stirred in an alien mind. And somewhere between, a human named Alex realized that this strange planet might teach him more than he could have imagined, if only he survived the misunderstandings, the humor and the unexpected adventures that lay ahead. The next morning, the desert of Zathor was alive with a quiet, golden light. The twin suns cast long, warm beams over the dunes, revealing patterns in the sand that only the sharpest eyes could detect. Captain Alex Ryder adjusted his scanner and stepped carefully across the soft sand, aware that even small movements could alert the native creatures. Beside him, Zilra moved with effortless grace. She had spent the night exploring the dunes near the outpost, fascinated by how humans and the desert creatures coexisted. Her violet eyes sparkled with curiosity, and she carried herself with a mixture of pride and wonder. Alex, she said, pointing at his scanner with a playful tilt of her head. The sand, it whispers. Your device hears it and answers. Alex smiled, sort of. It listens to vibrations under the sand and tells us if something is moving. It helps us study the sandworms without hurting them. Zilra crouched down, placing her delicate hands on the sand. The sand, it moves differently for me. I can feel small vibrations, but not as you do. Alex nodded. Humans have tools for everything. Our minds are our greatest advantage. We notice patterns, we predict behavior. We use intelligence to survive. Zilra tilted her head, thinking, humans are strange and clever. Not like us, but clever. You adapt differently. Alex laughed softly. Exactly. We adapt in our own way. That's why we survive in places that seem impossible. The two of them walked in silence for a while, examining tiny ridges in the sand, the tracks of small desert creatures, and even the delicate flowers that grew near rare water pockets. Alex explained the ecosystem, while Zilra described how her people had learned to live in the desert for generations. You see, she said, pointing at a small rock formation, our ancestors knew every wind shift, every sand pattern. We survive because we feel the desert. You survive because you think about it. Very different, Alex nodded. And yet both ways work. We can learn from each other, Zilra smiled. Humans teach and learn. Fast, she paused. Perhaps you are stronger than we thought. Before Alex could answer, a distant rumble rolled across the dunes. He squinted at the horizon. Tiny clouds of sand were rising, forming strange patterns in the distance. Storm, Zilra said simply. Danger comes, Alex's heart raced. Sandstorms on Zathor could destroy equipment and be deadly for anyone caught outside. We need to get back to the outpost and fast. The two of them ran, the wind beginning to whip sand around them. Zilra's movements were faster and lighter than Alex's, but he managed to keep pace using his knowledge of the dunes. When they reached the human outpost, the protective domes were already shaking under the wind's force. Inside, Alex checked the scanners. The storm was larger than expected. We might have a problem, he muttered. If it hits full force, it could bury some of the nearby alien habitats. Zilra's eyes widened. Then, we must help humans, help others. Alex nodded. Of course. That's what we do. We solve problems. Together they ran outside again. Zilra led Alex toward a series of tunnels she had noticed earlier. Here. Safe for small ones. She pointed toward the tiny creatures that lived just beneath the sand. Alex's mind raced. He pulled out the scanner and began to assess the sandworm population in the path of the storm. If we can lure them to safer areas, we can prevent disaster. Zilra tilted her head. How do you do that? Alex grinned, with a bit of human ingenuity. He activated the scanner's secondary mode, which emitted a gentle vibration that sandworms found interesting. Slowly, they guided the creatures toward the safer dunes, working with Zilra's knowledge of the desert. It was a delicate process. Sand shifted unpredictably, the wind howled, and the creatures moved erratically. But humans had a special ability to improvise, and Zilra had an instinctive connection to the desert. Together, they managed to guide the sandworms away from danger. Zilra's eyes shone with admiration. Humans, clever. Not just strong, clever. She looked at Alex, a serious expression on her face. Your species? Different, unpredictable, powerful. In ways I did not expect, Alex chuckled. You'll get used to us. We humans surprise people a lot. The storm reached its peak as night fell. The twin moons appeared faintly through the swirling sands, casting a pale glow over the dunes. Alex and Zilra took shelter in one of her people's underground caves. The walls were smooth, carved naturally by the shifting sands over centuries. Your species. You survive by using mind, tools, and courage, Zilra said quietly. We survive by instincts, knowledge of nature, and strength. Together, perhaps we are stronger, Alex nodded. That's what I hoped. Learning from each other makes us better. They sat in silence for a while, listening to the storm roar above them. Zilra touched Alex's scanner with her long fingers. Funny device. Mini Shai-Hulud, yes? But clever, Alex laughed. I think it's safe to say you understand it now. The next morning, the storm had passed, leaving the desert both serene and changed. The dunes had shifted, revealing new patterns and paths. Alex and Zilra stepped out cautiously, scanning the area. The sandworms were safe, moving through their new paths, and small desert creatures emerged from the shelter of the caves. The human outpost had minor damage, but nothing critical. Alex looked at Zilra. We did it. We worked together and prevented disaster. Zilra's violet eyes sparkled with respect. Humans are surprising. You solve problems. Not with strength, but with ideas. You, clever, persistent, brave, Alex smiled. Thank you. You're not bad yourself, Zilra giggled. You funny, strange human. You're mini Shai-Hulud, still amusing. Alex rolled his eyes, but he couldn't help laughing. I'll take that as a compliment. Over the next few days, Alex and Zilra continued their cooperation. He taught her how human tools worked, from scanners to shelters to water purification. She taught him the secrets of the desert, how to find hidden water, how to read the dunes for danger, and how to move silently among creatures without disturbing them. With every lesson, they learned more about each other. Zilra realized that humans were not just fragile beings. Their intelligence, creativity, and adaptability made them extraordinary. Alex realized that alien knowledge of the environment was invaluable, and that the galaxy was full of creatures worth learning from and respecting. One evening, after another long day of exploration, Zilra looked at Alex with genuine curiosity. Your species, so different, yet you survive, thrive. I respect humans now, not just for tools, for minds, hearts, courage. Alex smiled, feeling the warmth of her words. Humans are strange, yes, but I think that's what makes us special. Zilra laughed softly, the musical sound filling the quiet desert. Strange, clever, brave, mini Shai-Hulud. Part of you, funny, but I will not forget it. Your species, remarkable. And so the bond between human and alien grew stronger. A simple misunderstanding about a scanner had turned into a partnership, a mutual respect that would help both species survive and thrive on this harsh desert world. Little did they know, the desert still held many surprises. Hidden dangers and new discoveries awaited them, and their cooperation would soon be tested in ways neither had imagined. But for now they celebrated their small victory, learning that the galaxy could teach them much if they only kept an open mind, sharp eyes, and a sense of humor. As the twin moons rose fully over the dunes, Alex looked at Zilra and nodded. Tomorrow, we explore deeper. There's more to learn. Zilra tilted her head, her crest feathers catching the moonlight. Yes, why deeper humans. Interesting, Excited, and with that the human and the alien rested, ready to face the challenges of Zathor together. Two very different species, united by curiosity, intelligence, and the strange humor of a mini Shai-Hulud that started it all. The desert of Zathor glowed under the twin suns as the new day began. After surviving the recent storm, Captain Alex Ryder and Zilra stepped out of the shelter of her cave system, ready to explore deeper into the vast dunes. The shifting sands revealed hidden valleys, rock formations, and small clusters of desert flora that had remained untouched for centuries. Alex adjusted his scanner, feeling a mix of excitement and caution. Today we might find something new, something the aliens haven't noticed before. Zilra's violet eyes sparkled with curiosity. Perhaps, or something dangerous. But you, strange human, ready? I'm ready, Alex said with a grin. Let's see what this desert is hiding. They moved together across the dunes, combining human intelligence and alien instincts. Alex scanned the ground for movement while Zilra read the subtle patterns of sand shifts, predicting where creatures might emerge. They had become a seamless team, each learning from the other. After several hours, they came across a massive depression in the sand. Inside, hundreds of small sandworm tunnels twisted and turned, forming a complex network. Alex's scanner beeped furiously. This is incredible. It's like a hidden city beneath the sand, Zilra gasped. Sand-eyed creatures. Many, never so dense. Her tone carried both awe and worry. Danger, too. Storms. Predators. Humans, small. How survive? Alex knelt and studied the tunnels. With care, observation, and intelligence. Humans survive by thinking, not just running. Zilra tilted her head. And humans, clever. You will guide creatures? Alex nodded. Yes, and we can protect them while also exploring the area safely. For the next several hours, they carefully mapped the tunnels, marking safe paths and noting potential hazards. Alex showed Zilra how humans use tools to monitor creatures without harming them. Zilra was fascinated, observing how a simple machine could amplify the senses, detect movement, and gather information efficiently. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath their feet. A large sandworm, alerted by the unusual vibrations, emerged from a tunnel. Its massive, segmented body glistened in the sun as it undulated across the sand. Zilra froze in awe and fear. Huge. Dangerous, humans. Too small. Alex stepped forward, calm and confident. Stay behind me. Watch. He activated a gentle vibration on the scanner, guiding the sandworm along a predetermined path away from the tunnels and the outpost. The creature hesitated, then followed the vibrations obediently, moving smoothly without harming anything. Zilra blinked. Humans, not strong like us, but powerful. Your mind controls. Even beasts, Alex smiled. Brains over brawn. That's what humans do best. Over the next few days, they continued exploring deeper into the desert. They discovered hidden water sources, rare minerals, and intricate patterns of life that even Zilra had not noticed before. Each discovery strengthened the bond between human and alien, and each challenge proved the adaptability of human intelligence. One evening, after a long day of exploration, Zilra led Alex to her tribe's settlement, a series of sandstone structures carved naturally into the cliffs and dunes. The alien tribe was initially wary of humans, but Zilra's presence calmed them. Human, one of the aliens whispered. Zilra nodded. Yes, strange, but clever. Help us, observe, survive. Alex stepped forward, bowing slightly in respect. I come in peace. I mean no harm. I only want to learn and help. The alien leader, an elder with silver-tipped crests and luminous eyes, regarded him silently. Then, in a voice that echoed like wind over stone, she said, Humans, you survive with thought, not teeth or claws. You guide, not destroy. Perhaps you are worthy. Alex nodded humbly. We are willing to learn from you as well. Zilra grinned. See, clever. Funny. Still have mini Shai-Hulud. Yes? She held up her hand to mimic Alex's scanner. The younger aliens giggled, understanding the joke. The elder laughed softly. Yes, mini Shai-Hulud. Strange yet amusing. But humans. Powerful in ways we did not know. Over the following days, Alex helped the tribe build simple human tools. Water filters, basic shelters, and devices to track sandworm movements. In return, the tribe taught him survival techniques like predicting desert storms, finding hidden water, and navigating the dunes silently. The combination of human ingenuity and alien instinct proved extremely effective. One afternoon, while guiding sandworms away from a newly discovered nest, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Another sandworm, far larger than the previous ones, emerged. Its size was terrifying, and its movements could crush anything in its path. Zilra froze. Alex took a deep breath. Stay calm. Remember what we practiced. He activated a sequence of vibrations and sounds from the scanner, creating a pattern the sandworm recognized as harmless. Slowly, carefully, the giant creature followed the signals, moving away from the nest and out of danger. Zilra watched in awe. Humans, truly clever. Mind controls beast. Not through force, through thought. Her voice was filled with admiration. Alex laughed softly. Brains over brawn. I guess it works on sandworms too. By nightfall, both human and alien had returned safely to the tribe. Around a communal fire, the aliens shared food and water, celebrating the human's successful guidance of the sandworm. Zilra looked at Alex with pride. Your species. Strange, unpredictable, yet brilliant. Clever, brave, funny. You have earned respect. Alex felt warmth in his chest. Thank you. But I could not have done it without you. We make a good team. The elder stood and addressed the gathering. Humans are not like us. They are small, fragile, yet their minds are sharp. They adapt, they observe, they protect. Let it be known. Humans are allies and teachers. They are remarkable. A cheer rose from the younger aliens, laughter and exclamations filling the air. Even the older members nodded in agreement. Zilra leaned close to Alex. See? Humans, honored, not for strength, for mind, heart, courage, cleverness, survival, friendship. Alex smiled. I guess that makes the mini Shai-Hulud famous too. Zilra laughed, the sound musical and full of joy. Famous and amusing, but it led to this, you. Remarkable human. Days turned into weeks. Alex and Zilra continued their explorations, strengthening the bond between humans and the alien tribe. The desert was no longer just a harsh, dangerous place. It was a land of discovery, of cooperation, and of mutual respect. Alex reflected on everything he had learned. Humans were often underestimated by other species. They were not the strongest or the fastest, but they had qualities that no other species could easily replicate: ingenuity, adaptability, curiosity, and courage. Zilra had seen it firsthand, and now the entire tribe acknowledged it. One evening, as the twin moons rose high over the dunes, Zilra nudged Alex playfully. Mini Shai-Hulud. Still funny? Alex laughed. It'll always be funny, and it'll always remind me how misunderstandings can turn into friendship. Zilra smiled, her violet eyes reflecting the moonlight. Humans, strange, clever, brave. Glad you're here. Alex looked at the desert horizon, the stars beginning to twinkle above. And I'm glad I met you. Together we can survive, and maybe even thrive. The twin moons cast a pale glow over the dunes, illuminating the sandworms, the hidden valleys, and the small human outpost. Somewhere beneath the sand, the creatures stirred peacefully. Above, alien eyes watched, filled with newfound respect. And between them, a human named Alex Ryder stood tall. Not because of strength, but because of intelligence, courage, and the ability to think beyond the ordinary. The desert of Zathor had changed. The aliens' perception of humans had changed, and humanity's story in the galaxy had grown a little brighter. Alex smiled at Zilra. The galaxy is full of surprises, and I think we're ready for all of them. Zilra nodded, her crest feathers catching the soft moonlight. Yes, humans. Very strange, very clever, very brave. I will never forget this. And so, the human and the alien stood together on the dunes, united by respect, curiosity, and the laughter of a mini Shai-Hulud that had started it all. In the harsh desert of Zathor, humans had proven that intelligence, courage, and humor could overcome misunderstanding, fear, and danger. And in the hearts of the aliens, humans had earned their place, not through dominance, but through ingenuity, persistence, and friendship.